guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm here to film my 34-week pregnancy update, and after this I will have my 35th week, 36th week, and 37th week update. So after this update, there's only 3 more at the most, but let's go ahead and just get into my update because I had 2 appointments this week and another labor and delivery trip, making that 3 trips labor and delivery in the past like 7 weeks or so. So let's just go ahead and get into it, and let's get to my bump app, and it'll give me time to catch my breath. I probably sound really annoyed in this video, but honestly I'm just exhausted, and I'll get into that so I'm not being grouchy. I just want to get this out for you guys because this is probably going to be the most real update I've ever done about pregnancy. But at 34 weeks, both babies were about the size of butternut squashes. And butternut squash is an absolutely delicious vegetable slash fruit. I'm not really sure what it is. But at that point, both of the twins should have been about 4 3/4 pounds. Wrong. And about 17.5 inches long. So, and it also says that they are actually reacting to your voice, and they're also peeing about a pint a day. So 2 pints of baby urine a day. Great. So week 34, really quick for symptoms. Heartburn, same. I hope at least one of these babies have hair, because if they don't, I'm going to be a little upset that I suffered so long with heartburn. And pelvic pressure times a million. It's gotten super bad, and I'll explain to you why when we talk about my growth scan. And then other than that, pregnancy insomnia is starting to hit. I've been super lucky, you guys, with sleep. I've slept so well thanks to my Snuggle pillow. I highly recommend getting a pregnancy pillow. Just by experience, I have the Snuggle. Whatever pregnancy pillow you can get your hands on, or buying extra pillows for your bed. Highly recommend it. I would definitely not sleep at all without it, but it is impossible to sleep almost these days. And that's pretty much it for pregnancy symptoms. Basically, my hips feel like they're falling apart and I can't sleep. So our growth scan we had on Monday, and it was our last growth scan with the specialist. And basically we had to do growth scans once a month for a few months. They want to make sure the twins are within a certain percentage of each other. I think anything less than 10% difference was great. They've always been really close to each other, which is fantastic. Again, we're super blessed to have 2 healthy babies in there. And the reason why I'm probably having so much pelvic pressure is because of the size of these babies already. So at 34 weeks and 3 days, they were both about 5.5 pounds already. Baby B, who's our boy, was measuring 5 pounds 5 ounces. Baby A, our girl, she was measuring 5 pounds 8 ounces. However, they said she most likely was closer to like 5 pounds 5 ounces like her brother. They just cannot get an accurate head measurement because, alluding to my pelvic pressure, her head is so far down. They cannot even get a measurement on the sonogram, like on the wand. They can't get far enough down there because they run into certain bones that are down there, if you know what I'm saying. Totally embarrassing, but it's the truth. She's always been super low. She's just getting lower and lower, and it is causing me to have a lot of pain, especially upon standing up. I feel like there is just a boulder inside of me and another boulder pushing on top of her. So definitely uncomfortable. I think at this point I'm really close to like my limit of wanting to cry because I'm in pain a lot, just to be honest. I don't want to complain about being in pain. We are super blessed. But this is a real update, and I'm going to be honest. And no, I would not change it. I would not go back and put in 1 embryo. I'm happy. We are blessed with 2 healthy babies, and I'm willing to suffer to make sure that we get our beautiful babies. But it sucks a little bad right now. And I'm sure that these next few weeks are going to be getting a lot more brutal as the time goes by, but it's okay. I'm blessed to have a job where I can sit in the comfort of my home all day in sweatpants, and I would not change that either because it's just the best case scenario that it can be, and I'm making the best of it, of course. So we had our appointment with our OB 2 days later, this past Wednesday, and we went in, saw the babies. They both have been head down lately. At my OB, she was head down still. He was kind of like transverse, so if the fingertips are the heads, she was head down and he was kind of like this, so kind of sideways. Again, we're fine with it as long as A's head down. Like I've said before, we're still going to try for vaginal birth. No issues so far. And they both looked really good as always. Again, we're very lucky. However, when I went to the doctor's office, things didn't really turn out as well as I wanted to. We sat down, and like always, they kind of just go over some things. How are you feeling? And they check your blood pressure. Well, my blood pressure was elevated. And I'm like, great, because I've been warned by a lot of twin moms that they had a perfect pregnancy, but at the end, they had blood pressure issues that either turned into preeclampsia, or it caused their babies to come early because they were worried about preeclampsia or hypertension or whatever the case was. And I had just joked with the nurse about how I wasn't worried. I felt great. I've been having a perfect pregnancy as far as like my body is going. Like we have had preterm labor scares, but they were able to stop those. So I'm never really concerned about anything crazy until this blood pressure appointment. And they took it 3 different times. All 3 times, of course, it was elevated. And I was like, fantastic. And at that point, my ankles were really swollen, and the doctor was kind of like, well, your blood pressure is not perfect. It's not where we want it to be. So she kind of coached me about what would happen if my labs or urine showed protein and they were worried about preeclampsia. And she also talked to me about if I didn't have preeclampsia, but I just had like basically like a gestational hypertension or pregnancy-induced high blood pressure, what they would do. And basically what she told me was that I was going to have lab works and do a 24-hour urine screen, which you guys is kind of funny, and I'll tell you about that in a second. But she sent me down to labor and delivery with my husband, and as soon as we got there, they made me lay down for a little bit. And my blood pressure was fine after that. They took it every 10 minutes for like an hour, and it was perfect every single time. So it's kind of one of those things where, yeah, it's raised when I'm sitting up or standing and just sitting resting for a while, but it's normal when I'm laying down. And all of my labs came back normal. They sent me home to do a 24-hour urine, which is this fantastic lab where you keep your pee in the fridge right next to the orange juice, if you will. And every time you pee into this little hat that you just kind of like place on the commode. Then you pour it into this container and then put it back in your fridge, and then you turn it in 24 hours later. Very humbling, if you ask me. And that came back normal. So I am very, very, very happy to report that that came back normal. I mean, that's awesome. Preeclampsia is no laughing matter. It is scary. It can get scary very fast. It is very dangerous for mom and baby. I've had friends who have had it, and it's very, very serious. So I'm laughing about it now, but really it's not like a laughing matter in real life. So basically what she told me is if I keep having these elevated blood pressures at my appointments, they will probably induce me a week earlier, which would be in 2 weeks instead of 3 weeks. Now, my next appointment with the doctor is not for 1 full week, so I won't be seen again until this coming up Friday, which I think is Friday, what? The 18th. So my next appointment's on the 18th. And because I go up on Fridays, I will actually be 36 weeks. And today that I'm filming this, I'm 35 weeks. So you will see this at 35 and 1. So the way it just fell, I'm being seen the day I hit 36 weeks. So I was able to put a 9-day span between my appointments. Now this doctor that I'm seeing Friday is my induction doctor. I'm meeting with him because he's supposed to induce me if I make it to week 38 on February the 1st. If my blood pressure is raised at the appointment with him, he will be the one that probably makes the decision to move it up a week earlier. And I do have an appointment like 5 days or 4 days after the one on Friday. I think maybe those 2 appointments will determine if I'm induced early or not. At this point, I want them out safely. She did coach me that they are both a good size. I've already had steroids, so there's not really cause for concern for inducing at week 37. So I'm just gonna take it and let them decide. I'm really hoping to go into labor on my own just to avoid dealing with Pitocin. I don't like Pitocin, it's very painful. I am getting an epidural like I mentioned last time, but I would rather go into labor on my own and not immediately jump to Pitocin, because Pitocin's very, it can be quite painful, especially if your water has broken. So I would like to avoid that. Otherwise, I don't care. Whatever gets them out safely and gets them here. Sorry, my daughter's on the floor playing. Okay.
She's pregnant.
I know I'm pregnant, honey.
Yay, baby. Oh, I got cold.
Go put your jammies on. That was our little trip to labor and delivery. Now, I also wanted to mention, and I forgot to mention this, but back up to our growth scan, they switched to 3D to see if they could see anything. And this whole pregnancy, our daughter has been a complete mystery. I have no idea what she looks like. I've only ever seen her ear in 3D, but the way our son was laying was absolutely perfect, and we could see his complete face in like the 3D, 4D. I forget like what you call it. So I will show you guys what he looks like. So there is what he looks like. It is so surreal. Like, I'm not sure where he got these lips from, because my husband has like no lips at all. And obviously you guys know that mine have been surgically enhanced. I don't have lips like naturally. So I don't know where he got these lips from, but it's amazing. I've never been able to get a 3D photo as good as this one. There was actually several that were really good, and some actually are better than this one. I just happened to have this one on my phone because I sent it to my mom, and I just could not believe on the screen. He was just laying so perfect, and they were able to get it, and I just cried. I just like couldn't believe that this is our son. If you're new here, this is our first son. It'll be our 3rd daughter. And I was just like in awe. And she's gonna be this like complete mystery, because I've never seen even like the side of her. I've only ever seen like her ear from like this point over, because she's been so low this entire time that it's gonna be this amazing like blind date experience with her. So that was pretty much everything as far as like symptoms and appointments go. But I do have a little note here in my phone of what I want to talk about. If you guys are wondering, my cervix is still at a 3.5 centimeters dilated. It's been about 3.5 centimeters now for like a week and a half to 2 weeks. It was a 3 centimeters about 29 weeks. So nothing crazy as far as that goes. I am having a ton of Braxton Hicks contractions, some that feel very real to me, some that will be 5 minutes apart for 2 hours, and I start to think, is it labor, and then it goes away. So at this point, I think it would take something drastic for me to think, okay, I'm in labor, unless like my water broke or I had a bloody show or something. My body, I know, is preparing itself, but I probably won't go to the hospital, to be honest, now, because now that I'm 35 weeks, there's no worries for stopping labor. But again, I'll let you guys know as soon as I know if I'm in labor. I do have an uploaded video letting you guys know that I'm in labor. Obviously, it's unlisted until that time comes. So if I go into labor early, you guys will know. And then in 6 days from today, our name reveal will be going live. We've kind of gone back and forth about our boy's name after seeing what he looks like on my phone. In that picture, I mean on 3D, we're kind of like, is this really his name? So if for some reason we do a name reveal and then we have the babies and his name is different, please don't get mad at me, because I think it's going to be his name still, But both of us we have a list now of 3 backup names just in case he doesn't look like that. And even for her, we have a few backup names like in the back of our minds. But because she's a mystery, I can't really say if I know what she looks like or not. So I'm going to do a name reveal regardless. However, please know that there is a chance the names could change, which would be devastating because the signs on their wall in their nursery were not cheap. And I do have a few items with names on them. But just letting you guys know. We're still going to do a name reveal though. We're not going to stop doing the name reveal just because we've seen him and now we're kind of freaking out a little bit. But I think that's everything that I have on here that I wanted to talk about for this pregnancy update. So again, thank you guys so much for stopping by. I'm going to be putting up my hospital bag video. I'm filming it the day after, the day that this goes live. I'm going to film it. I'll have everything packed in it that I wanted. And I'll get that up for you guys here in a few days. So the next 2 videos going live will be my hospital bag and the name reveal will be coming live this Friday. So I'm really excited to share it with you guys. Kind of nervous because I don't want the opinions. I might even turn the comments off on the video just because I don't want the opinions, to be honest. They're not your average names. I mean, we're not naming them Jacob and Olivia, which are both gorgeous names and classic. That's just not the route that we went with their names. And I'm not going to defend our choice in names either because to each their own. No, not everyone has the exact same style of names. So I just want to put that out there. So if the comments are turned off, you guys know why. I haven't decided what I'm going to do yet. So yeah, look forward to that. That's the most requested video right now, obviously, is the name reveal. So it's still on for this Friday. And yeah, that's my entire update for this week. Thank you guys so much for all of your love and support. Can't breathe, like always. I'm so repetitive, but I will see you guys in my next video. And I totally was going to end the video without a belly shot, so I will do that for you guys, and then I will see you guys next time. Side view right there. Humongo. Yes, very big. It's nice and shiny because of the light. And my daughter's on the floor telling me that I'm not getting big, which makes me just adore her and her good manners. But yep, this is the day that I'm exactly 35 weeks. Here's my big belly. The best thing I did, and I want you to know, was that